The Lakers, which we were talking when I had Jacoby and Wilds on last week. We are talking puncher's chance with the Lakers. I saw them in person Tuesday night. I'm gonna see them in person again tonight with House. They're bad, and I actually don't think they have a puncher's chance. And then people be like, "Well, you can't judge until Davis is back." But the body language, some of the stuff I saw, like just the chemistry that they don't have, the lack of defense. And Chris Ryan made this point because we were watching LeBron. And he was like, LeBron for like 7 minutes can be LeBron. And he knows like when to kind of use those 7 minutes. It's like his cheat code. He slaps it in. He has these awesome 7 minutes, but he can't do it for 4 quarters anymore. And he can't do it in the defense anymore. I don't know if you guys saw that game. Luka kind of tortured him in the fourth quarter in that game for like 3-4 possessions. He was trying to get LeBron in these switches. I don't know if they were talking about in the announcing or not, but he was trying to get him. And then LeBron's like, "Oh, you want to go mano a mano?" And Luka's like, "Yeah, I actually do. I would love to go mano a mano with you." And torched him. And then LeBron ended up moving away from him. I don't think the miles that LeBron's playing, combined with who knows when Davis comes back, combined with that supporting cast, I actually don't think they have a puncher's chance. Would be more nervous about whatever the ceiling of the Clippers with whoever comes back. But with all that said, let's say Memphis is 2 seeded. Now you have the Lakers in the series. Are you scared? Do you want to bulletin board them right now?
Oh no, yes, I would be concerned. Not because I don't think that they could win the series or would win the series. It's simply because you're having to go up against, if you're saying that Anthony Davis is healthy.
Yeah.
Because it's different when he's healthy. And I just cannot get out of my mind when they first came to town, somebody with the Lakers, because they sucked then too. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I remember they said this to me. They said, it's very frustrating because, they got tons of veterans on that team. And they were like, and even with LeBron, they are going to every night give out the absolute minimum amount of energy it takes to win. Now, what's ended up happening is they give the minimum amount of energy and they can't even win, right? They can't just turn it on. And that's what they've realized. They can't just turn on. But I also think in those, when it gets to the playoffs and he'll turn it into a total half-court game, you're not going to get calls. They're getting the calls. No. I'd rather play. I'd rather play somebody else that's not the issue.
Well, you're probably not playing them because it looks like they're stuck in the 9-10 range.
Probably.
But
right.
House, would you want to see the Lakers in the playoffs, or do you want to watch them tonight before you answer this, or where do you stand?
No, I'm fine because I don't think tonight is probative of, what the playoff version of the Lakers could consist of. And so,
you need to see him with Davis.
That's it. That's the answer. Verno knows. So, and for all the reasons Verno just said, they're formidable. I mean, they will F you up, LeBron and AD. And, who knows, maybe over this next little bit, they will have figured out a second unit role for Westbrook so that at least the second unit isn't getting dead. Well, I'm just saying, it's just not out there getting, the on-off numbers with LeBron are insane right now because the whole rest of the team is junk. But
what's interesting is
different.
New Orleans is coming for them. I mentioned in the pod, I can't remember if it was Sunday or Tuesday, how I'd heard that the Lakers kind of stood up to LeBron last week because they did all the stuff. They, whatever. You could see what their agenda was.
Well, what night did you say you were there? You say you were there Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Okay, so was that the night? Was it Monk or who was the young player that jumped up this spectacular block where he grabbed the ball right above way above the rim? There was a play like that. I mean, it was right in front of their bench.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy on one of the social media sites posted this video. It was one of those bitching about the Lakers videos. I love clicking on those. And the guy was like, look at this bullshit. Look at this play and then look at the bench. He's like, this shit is spectacular.
And the bench didn't even get up.
Nobody even
Well, we were
blinked.
laughing because we were sitting across from the benches on Tuesday. We were laughing because the whole fourth quarter, Dallas's whole bench is standing. right? They're really into it. They're coming on the court.
Crazy.
Whole Lakers bench is sitting, and occasionally Davis would stand up and sit down. But everything about it said to me like this team is heading the wrong direction. What's interesting, because I was talking to a couple people this week. LeBron's never been in this situation before. Where
what about the Ingram year?
No, this situation where he's trying to do like, hey, well, if we don't do this, we got to change the team, and you got to. And they're kind of like, we're the Lakers. You're going to come and go. You're going to retire at some point. We're still the Lakers. We're still one of the league's signature franchises. If you don't like it here, we'll trade you this summer. He doesn't have the same kind of. I don't know if he's ever been at this point in his career where he doesn't have the juice, because ultimately they could just trade him. He's under contract next year, right? He wants to be here next year. His son's going to be a senior at Sierra Canyon. He doesn't want to leave LA. This is the first time he kind of had to back off, which is why I think we got those stories last week where was like Woj with like Rich Paul. Rich Paul's like, no, actually we didn't try. Dude, you're bringing up Sam Presti in press conferences. Why the fuck are you doing that?
That's interesting. I haven't even thought about this, because obviously infinitely bigger than Cleveland, infinitely bigger than Miami. But your argument would be that he ain't bigger than the Laker brand.
He's not bigger than the Laker brand, and he's also not in the prime of his career anymore.
Right.
And they're just not going to mortgage the future, which they've already done with the Davis trade and the Westbrook trade. They don't have any more assets. House, the guy's going to be in year 20 next year. At some point, you got to look at it and go, hey, man, we already did all the stuff you asked. We got a title out of you. And if you don't want to be here, we'll trade your ass this summer.
Well, and they stood up to Kobe years ago, too, you remember? I mean, they stood
did,
up
in the
to him.
mid-2000s, they did.
Yeah.
But they never traded him, and then they took care of him down the stretch because he was as big as the Lakers. He had two generations of fans. LeBron doesn't have the same hold over Laker fans, I'm telling you. What were you say, House?
Just that, we talked about this at dinner last night. The LeBron and his camp engineered Westbrook's arrival in Los Angeles, and they affirmatively chose Westbrook over DeRozan because DeRozan, by all accounts going back, was very close and wanted to play with the Lakers. And, there is now, because of the stage of his career and because of, the investment that the Lakers have already made, he doesn't have that sway any longer. I mean, he made the mistake, and he's got to live with the mistake now. That accountability is there.